Dumbledore did not break the silence that stretched between them now, but waited with a look of pleasant expectancy for Voldemort to talk first. "I have returned," he said after a little while, "later, perhaps, than Professor Dippet expected. But I have returned, nevertheless, to request again what he once told me I was too young to have. I have come to you to ask that you permit me to return to this castle to teach. I think you must know that I have seen and done much since I left this place. I could show and tell your students things they can gain from no other wizard." Dumbledore considered Voldemort over the top of his own goblet for a while before speaking. "Yes, I certainly do know that you have seen and done much since leaving us," he said quietly. "Rumours of your doings have reached your old school, Tom. I should be sorry to believe half of them." Voldemort's expression remained impassive as he said, "Greatness inspires envy, envy engenders spite, spite spawns lies. You must know this, Dumbledore." "You call it greatness, what you have been doing, do you?" asked Dumbledore delicately. "Certainly," said Voldemort, and his eyes seemed to burn red. "I have experimented. I have pushed the boundaries of magic further, perhaps, than they have ever been pushed." "Of some kinds of magic," Dumbledore corrected him quietly. "Of some. Of others you remain, forgive me, woefully ignorant." For the first time Voldemort smiled. It was a taut leer, an evil thing, more threatening than a look of rage. "The old argument," he said softly. "But nothing I have seen in the world has supported your famous pronouncements that love is more powerful than my kind of magic, Dumbledore." "Perhaps you have been looking in the wrong places," suggested Dumbledore. "Well then, what better place to start my fresh researches than here at Hogwarts?" said Voldemort. "Will you let me return? Will you let me share my knowledge with your students? I place myself and my talents at your disposal. I am yours to command." Dumbledore raised his eyebrows. "And what will become of those whom you command? What will happen to those who call themselves, or so rumour has it, the Death Eaters?" Harry could tell that Voldemort had not expected Dumbledore to know this name. He saw Voldemort's eyes flash red again, and the slit-like nostrils flare. "My friends," he said after a moment's pause, "will carry on without me, I am sure." "I am glad to hear that you consider them friends," said Dumbledore. "I was under the impression that they are more in the order of servants." "You are mistaken," said Voldemort. "Then, if I were to go to the Hog's Head tonight, I would not find a group of them? Not Rosier, Mulciber, Dolohov, awaiting your return? Devoted friends indeed to travel this far with you on a snowy night, merely to wish you luck as you attempted to secure a teaching post." There could be no doubt that Dumbledore's detailed knowledge of those with whom he was travelling was even less welcome to Voldemort. However, he rallied almost at once. "You are omniscient as ever, Dumbledore." "Oh, no, merely friendly with the local barmen," said Dumbledore lightly. "Now, Tom." Dumbledore set down his empty glass and drew himself up in his seat, the tips of his fingers together in a very characteristic gesture. "Let us speak openly. Why have you come here tonight, surrounded by henchmen, to request a job we both know you do not want?" Voldemort looked coldly surprised. "A job I do not want? On the contrary, Dumbledore, I want it very much." "Oh, you want to come back to Hogwarts, but you do not want to teach any more than you wanted to when you were 18. What is it you're after, Tom? Why not try an open request for once?" Voldemort sneered. "If you do not want to give me a job—" "Of course I don't," said Dumbledore, "and I don't think for a moment you expected me to. Nevertheless, you came here. You asked. You must have had a purpose." Voldemort stood up. He looked less like Tom Riddle than ever, his features thick with rage. "This is your final word?" "It is," said Dumbledore, also standing. "Then we have nothing more to say to each other." "No, nothing," said Dumbledore, and a great sadness filled his face. "The time is long gone when I could frighten you with a burning wardrobe and force you to make repayment for your crimes. But I wish I could, Tom, I wish I could." For a second, Harry was on the verge of shouting a pointless warning. He was sure that Voldemort's hand had twitched toward his pocket and his wand, but then the moment had passed. Voldemort had turned away, the door was closing, and he was gone.